Friday, sports fans of Lincoln and Logan County. You're in the cheap seats on 96.3 and WLCN online.com. Josh Komnick here with the furniture guy, of course.
Good morning.
At Jake's Furnishings. So we couldn't be at Jake's and not have Jake on also. And Jake, thanks for having us on, and thanks for coming on too.
Absolutely. Always a good time.
And sit here early because we thought he was going to have a game today, although Mother Nature didn't let that happen this morning. But head baseball coach at Lincoln College, head coach Tony Thomas. Coach, thanks for coming in this morning, and sorry we couldn't bring you a little better weather last night.
Well, that's okay. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Coach, you're coming into now your 19th season?
This is my 18th.
18th season. Didn't want to add another one to you. 21 total at Lincoln College. That's 3 years as an assistant and 2 years as a player. Coach, talk about a little bit about being at Lincoln College, being there. Obviously, it's a place that you've put a lot of sweat on the baseball diamond as being a player, and now being at a place where you've been so long and gotten accustomed to it and been able to build a program.
Well, it gave me a start, and I think that's the biggest thing. As a student athlete, it gave me the opportunity to not only continue my education, but also to continue my athletic program, and that's what I preach and teach to a lot of the recruits that we bring in here in Lincoln over the last 18 to 20 some years. But it's an opportunity to continue your education with the opportunity to have athletics involved, and it means a great deal to me. And a lot of people I tease that I bleed purple, and it's in my blood with no questions.
Well, you talk about bleeding the purple. Not only did you come out tonight, but you brought an array of hats and T-shirts and shorts and sweatshirts. So if you're out and about and going to stop by and come out and buy a couch from the guy next to my left here, Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln, open 7 days a week. Phone 735-1212. Stop out here. We'll next person that comes through that door, we're going to throw a Lincoln College baseball hat at you, just to hopefully it fits. If not, we've got a number of them sitting here, so we'll get one that fits. Or give us a call, 737-3791. We will bring up some kind of topic, ask Coach Thomas how the season's going, ask him when his next game is, or anything else that you want to bring up in the sporting world. We've got some Lincoln College gear that Coach has graciously kind of said, here, give it away today when people come in the door, or give us a call. So we wanted to thank Coach Thomas and Lincoln College for that also. Coach, 15-13 so far this season, 11-1. In the conference. You actually said you're leading the Midwestern Athletic Conference right now, and maybe one of your better teams that you've had.
Definitely one of the better teams I've had. It goes down to the starting positions at every position. We've been pretty solid. We've got a couple surprises, offensively especially. We're hitting 340 as a team, and like you said, scoring a lot of runs, and that goes a long ways with helping not only defense but also with the pitching staff and things. So we've got a talented group of freshmen, and our starting 4 weekend pitchers are all freshmen, and then we have 7 out of the 9 starters in the lineup that are freshmen also. So our freshman class is real talented this year. 15-13, the deepest I've gone ever into a season at higher than 500.
Sure.
11-1 in conference. We took 3 out of 4 from Lewis and Clark on opening weekend, swept ICC and swept Spoon River, and that got us to the 11-1 mark, and we're pretty excited right now. We have a good group of kids, and I still think they're about a half a kick in the butt from being very, very good, and they're starting to understand and believe, and hopefully we can continue with the next, I think we have 5 series left in conference, so hopefully we can continue that trend.
Now, Coach, you said you had a little bit younger team earlier. How many freshmen do you have on the team?
Right now, if I broke it down, and it may not necessarily be, but I just think the youngness is the starters and those key players. I think we're at 14. We're allowed 24 scholarships at NJCA. So I have a 25-man roster. I have 1 walk-on, and I think we're right at 14 and 10, something in that nature, of freshmen over sophomores right now.
Why, Coach? Why this year maybe better than any freshman? Have you added some assistants that have really hit the road? Have you yourself gone out on the road a lot more this year? Why this year is the jump in freshmen so much better than what you've had maybe prior?
Well, I think bringing in Andrew Bartman, who is a Lincoln High School graduate, had gone to Wabash Valley and learned the system in the sense of how to recruit, how to do this. And again, you've got to compare. A lot of people understand the expense of Lincoln College to a certain extent, and apples and oranges with other community college and scholarships and things like that. But they've done a better job. Isaac Cox has also gone out and got a couple of kids for us this year. But we have a big three, and the big three are all from the same high school. And those three kids have really come in and done a great job. And the good thing about those three, we're talking about Kenny May, Steven Soteropoulos, and Derek Steiner, all from Belleville East High School. And their high school coach I played with at Millikan University.
That helps.
Yeah, it does. It does a little. You have a little connection there.
Some connections
yeah,
right there.
And Andrew Bartman's done a great job. He went down there, and actually those three have kind of gotten a couple of other kids from that area that they played summer ball with. Miles Quintal from O'Fallon, Ricky Cody from the St. Louis area, and so they've kind of, in a sense, recruited a couple other kids that have helped out, and they knew they had talent and things in that nature. So, but Coach Bartman's done a great job with knowing our graphics of what we can and can't do with money and stuff like that, and we've been able to get 4 or 5 kids. We've gone out of state this year for the first time. We've got 3. We've got 2 kids from Michigan. We've got 2 kids from Ohio. We've got 2 Florida kids. We've got 2 kids international. So we spread out a little, and it just seems like this year's group understands their roles and knows what needs to get done, and they're getting it done.
Yeah.
And
you talk about yourself having connections, but when you have success, the guys that are on the field, those players say, "Hey guys, come along. I've had a good time. I'm doing really well. I mean, you're batting over 340. This is a good place. I'm getting a good education. Hey, come here." And that helps too, especially now 11-1 in conference play. And talk a little bit about that conference, Coach. We were just talking about the games you have coming up. We're supposed to be today, Parkland at home, number 11 in the nation, and then after that, you've got a tough stretch coming in. And talk a little bit about this conference, where some of the better teams are ranked right now, and who those are.
Well, traditionally, Parkland has been at the top of the food chain in a sense for the last 10 years. They've won a couple national championships. They've placed in the nation the last 3 or 4 years. So Parkland's been our pretty much our dominant team. Then all of a sudden, 3 years ago, a new program shows up at Bloomington Normal area in Heartland, and now Heartland is ranked number 3. They were preseason number 1 in the nation.
Wow.
When the preseason polls came out, and I think Parkland was like 8th, and I believe Lincoln Land was getting a little receiving votes, which can put you in the top 20. We go 1 through 15, and then things, but. Those are pretty much the 3 teams that have done. ICC has been up there. ICC is not in that area right now, but we have a really good conference, and we're really respected around the country with baseball and just athletics in general. I mean, I'm going to mention this, 2-time national championships in basketball. Yeah. The wrestling team's done a great job. Soccer team went to national, swimming year in, year out. So the opportunity for this conference is very good athletic overall, not just baseball-wise. So sorry, I had to smile. We can't turn around right now, but it's a great conference, and
somebody was not obeying the law behind us out on Woodlawn.
I think
has brought them right into Jake's too. Maybe he wanted a hat and took a U-turn.
Maybe they want to be on TV.
Yeah. So. He wanted a hat, so he did an illegal U-turn out on Woodlawn, and he's gonna get a ticket and a Lincoln College hat for his expense.
It's a she, but we'll go from there. But again, that is comical. But it's a great conference, and no matter what sporting event it is. But we have the number 3, number 11 ranked, and for the first time in my 18 years, we received votes this week for national rankings. And a lot of people may not understand this, maybe they will, but I slowly thought we had a chance of maybe getting some receiving votes, and I got my hopes up a little. I'm like, I don't know if we're gonna do it, and looked up on Wednesday afternoon and slowly went down, and all of a sudden I just see Lincoln College at the bottom, and my heart just dropped. And I'm in my office, Kirk Wymanton, and I just yell, "Hey, we received votes this week!" And he comes running in, and Clem comes running in. Oh, right, great job! So it's very exciting. Even hopefully it lasts more than a week, and we can only tell that. And we got a big series coming up tomorrow and Monday now, since today got rained out with Parkland.
So since today got rained out, you're going to play tomorrow.
So we will play at Parkland tomorrow. Originally scheduled Parkland,
right.
And then Monday and Tuesday are makeup days for conference. And if we don't make them up Monday and Tuesday, they do not get made up. So then if we miss those 2 games, it goes off winning percentage for seedings and things. But we'll have a big test. We played Red Lake on Thursday, and they were winning the GRAC conference, which, as you know, is
right.
one of the best conferences in the country for Division I junior college. And we played with them, didn't get it done in the first game. Second game kind of got out of hand, unfortunately. But you understand that weekend series is what we're about, right. and what we have to do to maintain not only a conference championship, but the other things. So then we have Easter weekend as our bye weekend, so we're off. And the next Tuesday, Thursday, we have number 3 Heartland, and then the weekend we have John Woods. So
and Heartland's here, and
both home and away. We play 4-game series, and we play 1, 7, 1, 9 each day.
Right.
So we have a 7-inning game and a 9-inning game, and then we go there or they come here the next day, depending on it. So it's a 4-game series in a sense.
Well, and too, people want to come out and watch good baseball. Then it's probably going to be Monday or Tuesday, like you said, as weather permits. But again, too, if you're not in Lincoln and want to go to a great park, I believe Heartland plays at the new.
Yes, they do.
Stadium, which is a heck of a recruiting tool.
Not a bad recruiting tool, is it? And I have never played there yet. Because,
I've never been there.
And they say it's really nice. And my assistant did some. He worked for him this last summer, so he had been there. But it's a great recruiting tool with no questions. And
So it'll be nice to follow the links. Not only are you following 11-1 in the conference links, hopefully maybe 13-1, 14-1 by the time we take 4 from Parkland.
It would be nice.
But go up to Heartland at a new brand new stadium and check out the number 3 ranked team as so far in the polls. And the links take on Heartland at Heartland will be the 26th of April, and then Heartland comes to Lincoln College on the 28th of April. That's a 2 o'clock start. So some good baseball. You've got John Wood left. You've got Danville left. Shawnee. That's a long haul down there.
Yes, it
and
is.
Lincoln Land, which is kind of maybe. Would you say Lincoln Land is kind of your rival, if you have one in the conference?
I think in putting things in perspective, when I played at Lincoln College, there's no questions that was the team that we didn't want to lose to. We wanted to compete as best as we could. That was the team that Claude Krasik, an old veteran down there, Hall of Famer. That's a guy that we wanted to beat. If you had to pick, if you had to go over the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years, different teams may pick different things, but I think now, I guess these guys would say it's Parkland.
Sure.
Overall, because they have won national championships. They have got 3rd. They had an outstanding player last year for the last 2 years by the name of Kevin Kiermaier, who's actually now playing with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And you don't think kids follow games. That's my son's favorite baseball player over my many years, and he absolutely loved Kevin Kiermaier. And he calls him, talks to him on the phone, and he'll call and say, Ryan, how's ball going and stuff like that. So he got a good rapport with a rival team's best player. But Kevin Kiermaier was an outstanding player and a great person for baseball, because he would come over after the game, even if we won or lost. And I know we beat him once his freshman year in the 9th inning, and he still came over and said hi to Ryan and talked to Ryan for 5 or 10 minutes before he got in the bus. So class act.
Yeah. Coach, we're going to take a real quick commercial break. Now that you don't have to get in a rush to get to the diamond, maybe we can keep you a little bit longer. You're in the Cheap Seats. You're on 96.3 and WLCNonline.com. We'll be back in the Cheap Seats at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Open 7 days a week. Phone 735-1212. I'm with the furniture guy. This is Josh Komnick, and also joining us this morning is head baseball coach out of Lincoln College, Head coach Tony Thomas. We want to thank some of our sponsors. Jim Grimaldi, attorney at law. Call 217-651-8089. The Christian Village. That's where we'll be. Not next weekend, because we're going to take Easter off, but we'll be there the following weekend at the Christian Village, the area's leader for senior living and healthcare services. Phone 2189 for a tour. Rail Splitter Veterinary Wellness Center located at the corner of Route 10 and Route 121 in Lincoln. Phone 732-5700. The Lincoln Speedway just getting going here, located at the Logan County Fairgrounds. Phone 217-735-1833 for schedule and race time. Stacy's Family Pharmacy, Lincoln's only independently owned and operated pharmacy. Phone 732-1972.
Hey, Coach, we've been talking about a little bit about your schedule for the year, and we wanted to bring up your Florida trip down there. Can you give us a little info, a little insight on that?
Yeah, what we do is we go to it's not really a tournament, it's just kind of a gathering of many schools from Division I level to 2, 3, NAIA.
Where it's still snowing and they can't play here.
That's right at the beginning of the year, right?
Correct. It was still snowing.
Yes.
It was cold, but it was beautiful down there this year. And we go to Winter Haven, and actually what has happened down in Auburndale, which is just a little suburb of Winter Haven, they've built about a $9 million facility, and it has 4 brand new fields, a small type stadium. So there's 5 fields there. Next year, I think we're going to get moved because this year some of the colleges consolidated their spring trips. So instead of being over a 6-week period, now it's becoming a month period. So there's more schools going down there. So they're going to have to make some adjustments. So I think we're going to go to St. Petersburg next year, Florida. And we actually got to play at Owl Lang Stadium this year, which was the former spring training facility of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Sure.
And now Tampa Bay uses it a little, and it's like a mile and a half away from the what's it called? The Tropicana Field, the Dome, whatever it's called. It's wild looking from the outside. And then they also, kind of a funny story is we get there and we're kind of getting backwards. We can't get in the parking lot. They have the Grand Prix at St. Petersburg starting to be formed. They've got those big white walls and stuff that they bring in and stuff. It's getting formed, so you can see where the route's going to go and stuff like that. So we hit some foul balls onto the down the third base line onto the course, and we couldn't go in to get them because they were all chained up and stuff like that. So we lost a few balls, but it's a great situation, and a lot of people will say, you have a good time. Well, actually, it's more work than it is a good time because I'm in charge of 5 rooms. I'm in charge of watching those guys, making sure curfews.
26, 18-year-olds on spring break.
Along with 2 assistants. Exactly. Along with 2 and
yourself.
And myself. And my wife and Ryan.
She'll keep them all.
Yeah, she does. Definitely, no questions. But, we have a pretty good time. We get to see the good weather. This year our schedule was reasonable that we played a lot of northern schools. We played one southern school, and that's Pasco Hernando, which is the only Division II junior college in the state of Florida. They've gone from Division I to Division II. Their regionals, if you want to kind of put this in perspective, is North Carolina. So they have to travel quite a ways to go for their regionals. But they threw a guy against us, last name of Hirachi, something in that nature, and he's been the hardest thrower we've seen all year. And he was probably 88 and 90, 91 every once in a while, and he was pretty good. He was pretty good, but they're pretty decent. I think they ended up beating us 8-2, something like that. I don't even know if I could tell you it was a close 8-2, but it was. We made 9 errors that game.
Well,
let's put it that way. We made 9 errors.
And those guys have been playing.
They have.
They were before you got to see them.
I think they were at 26.
Sure.
26. But again, they didn't make the little mistakes that we made early. And if we play them again, I think we stand a chance at staying closer, if not maybe squeaking one out there. But we go down there for the weather, getting bunt defenses, getting used to live pitching and things in that nature. So this year wasn't a bad trip. We lost a few one-run games. We won a few one-run games. I wish we came back with a better record, but we got some learning processes. I was able to put some kids in some situations that gave us the opportunity to know what they could do when they come up here for conference, and I think it's worked out so far.
Yeah, and now, like you said, you're ready for conference. You had a boatload of freshmen that are getting a lot of time, which is you got to get them acclimated, and you want to go down there and play competition right away. And it seems like you did, playing some Division I schools, but and coming back up here and hitting that tough schedule that you're in right now. Coach, talk about some of the strengths of this team. We talked about earlier, the hitting has been maybe one of the better hitting teams. You're scoring more runs, just that I've noticed in the last, let's just say 4 years. I've really been closely following your squads. You're scoring more runs this year. Give us some strengths on why. Are you driving the ball more? I'm seeing your stats here. You've got a guy with 20. RBIs are really consistent. 20, 20, 19, 17, 19, 16. You don't find that a lot, especially in college baseball. You got 4 guys that are going to be in 20s, 25, but not. You've got 7 guys there right in a range of good RBIs for the games that you've played so far.
Well, I think we've put them in their own comfort zone in a certain extent. We really didn't know, and our assistants, my 2 assistants and I, we sit there and try, and that's what spring trip is. We kind of move the lineup up and down. Who's going to be a better 3-hitter? Who's going to be a better 4-hitter? Is our 3-hitter going to get on base 4, 5, and 6 hitter for those RBI situations? Is our leadoff? I think it starts with the leadoff guy.
Sure.
Kenny May, a Bellevilliers kid, our starting shortstop.
Well, he's only batting 500.
He's only batting 500. Let's put that with 102 at bats, correct?
Sure.
Because a lot of people say, well, 500, what's he got? 45. He's got 102 at bats.
Right. He's your leadoff guy.
5. He's our leadoff guy. He gets the thing started, and he's been. We anticipated him being our number 3 hitter. But we really didn't have that true leadoff type hitter. He's got good speed. He doesn't have great speed. He's got good speed. But I'll tell you what, he's a kid that if there's a fly ball 15 feet over, he would jump over these chairs, these nice, beautiful leather couches here, all the lamps without breaking them to get to them.
Right.
And but he's that type of kid. He's a go-getter, and I think he's the key right there. We've adjusted at the 2 spot. We had a different kid at the 2 spot. He was doing a pretty good job, but we didn't feel that he did some things that we needed in that 2 spot. So we moved him down to the 9 spot. That's the Alvera kid, and he's hitting. I think Milton's hitting 353. So all he sees is fastballs, and he just jumps on him and gets it. So at the end of the lineup, at the beginning of the lineup, we've made some adjustments, and like I said, the number 3 and 4 guy and 5 guy have done a great job of putting the ball in play, and that's what we've, I think, preached a little more this year, is less strikeouts, putting the ball in play, and letting the things happen. And we've been finding the holes, the gaps. We have more of a gap-to-gap power. We had 5 home runs in a game the other day for the first time ever in my career with that many, and they weren't just they weren't just wind-blown home runs. They were hard hit, and a couple of them were line drives, and they got out. But we're more of a gap-to-gap type thing, and I think they've understood what we're preaching. And the more comfortable we get, the more they understand that, hey, we can score the runs. Now let's prevent the runs. And it's easier to win a 8-2 game than it is that 3-2 game, and thinking, who are we going to bring in to close? And we've done a good job. But up and down the lineup, I think they've started to understand that putting the ball in play and getting the runners to where they did. Now Thursday we had a couple situations where we didn't think, but I think the baseball IQ has gotten better, with no questions of understanding how things need to proceed to score 3 or 4 runs in an inning instead of just getting 1 run.
Coach, we had head coach out at Lincoln High School, Pat Hake, on last week, and he talked about the bats, and you're talking about you're having gap-to-gap more power this year. Have the bats changed? I know he talked about the bats in high school have changed a little bit and are going to change even more from what he understands. Have they changed in college, and if so, have you seen a difference in them?
I'll tell you what, I anticipated at the beginning of the year us maybe scoring 2 runs a game. And I know that sounds crazy, but from what the bats were like this year to last year, they have changed, and I think the game's become more of a defensive game. We have to field routine ground balls. We have, now you're going to jam a guy. It's a fly out to the shortstop. It's not a blooper over the shortstop's head. But in all fairness, I haven't seen a huge amount of difference. Okay, maybe our power numbers, slugging percentages are down, but we average probably 15 to 20 home runs within a year, and I don't even know what we have right now total.
9.
We have 9, and it's probably right on pace. But some fly balls that you think, oh wow, that's going into Sangamon County. It's a fly out,
right?
And so there are some changes, but they haven't been as significant as I anticipated at the beginning of the season. So,
well, as Jake was a long ball hitter in his day too, you'll understand that when the weather changes, the ball starts flying more too. This is not a great hitting area or month or season right now. When the weather breaks and starts to be 80 or 75, when the balls start to go a little bit better.
Right. I haven't really seen much change though in most cases, but our park is pretty big, so we really don't have a lot of home runs hit at home games. Now when we go to other places, that's a different story, but we have big gaps, and we try to stay within that parameters of what our home field, because we're going to be there more times than not. But right center, left center, try to keep them in the middle of the park. So but I don't think it's really changed too much.
You said we were talking about a little bit about defense on your Florida trip. How's it been since you guys gotten back? Have they gelled a little bit? I mean, up the middle they saw it.
Our up the middle isn't too bad right now. We're going to make errors. You always want to try to minimize those as much as possible. But we're getting better with no questions. But like I said, I got Kenny May at shortstop, and you hit him anything, it's going to be an out.
Yeah.
And we've done a good job. But we're pretty strong up the middle. We had a shortstop last year that had transferred in from Wabash Valley, and Kenny's displaced him from shortstop, and actually he didn't have a place to play, and we've put him in center field, and he's done a tremendous job. So he's shored up our defense a whole bunch, not only in the infield but the outfield. And he can run from gap to gap, and he's done a pretty good job. So we've made some adjustments to what we think we need to get to that next level. And everybody's dream is to win a national championship when you first get into that season. What do you want to do? We want to win a national championship.
Yeah.
Realistically, first of all, we've got to get into the tournament and then go from there. So our goal is to make the tournament, and I think right now we're really good to do that right now. So and when we get to the tournament, who knows? Who knows?
And how's the team's health overall?
Right now we're okay. We have a couple of injuries with some bench players, in the sense of we have a kid that's got a bad ankle, but normally we have a few more sore arms than at this time. But right now we seem to be doing okay. We've done a better job with the weight and the conditioning programs over the winter, and I think we've changed some things that have made our kids understand. And again, it's hard for these kids sometimes to play because we start in September, and they're starting to get to the point where it's this season, but we've got to keep them going and understand and give them a day off every once in a while.
Absolutely.
And today we're probably going to go in at about 3 o'clock, at least do some hitting and stuff, so we're prepared for tomorrow. But health-wise, we're doing good.
Well, and Coach, too, I know from playing at Johnny Logan, we had the opportunity to be ranked quite a bit, but that gives you a sense of you're at a perfect point right now where those rankings come out and the guys are saying, wow, we are okay. That some people are taking notice of this, and it kind of gives them maybe a little bit of rejuvenation. It's a long season. You travel a lot. You're on the bus a lot, and they say, hey, we're in it. We're 11-1. That kind of maybe fires it up a little bit. Plus, you got to have some sophomores out there to say, hey guys, we're here now. If we can do this at Parkland next week, tomorrow, or the next day, we got a real good shot of doing a lot of good things. What you talked about, that tournament that's on the 18th of June 18th, is that correct?
March. Or
May. May 18th in Springfield.
Yep.
So that's what you're shooting for. You talked about that, and those sophomores that were there last year or have been through the wars have got to lead those young freshmen along too.
Well, this is going to sound kind of crazy, but it's our freshmen leading right now.
Right.
And we have a couple of sophomores that have we have a kid by the name of Brad Piscini who played third for us last year. Offensively, he's just a pitcher now, but last year he was a position player, and I talked to him at the end of the year and said, hey, here's the opportunity for you to get a scholarship somewhere next year, and you're going to have to come in and do it. And he's been a vocal guy off the field with these guys. So if I had to pick one sophomore right now that has understood his role, and even if he hasn't accepted it to a certain extent, he's never griped and complained about it. But he's gone out there when we've got the opportunity and done the things that he's supposed to do. He's usually our first guy out of the bullpen, and so he's got a big role of coming in and keeping the game on a hold situation instead of giving up a couple runs here, a couple runs there. But if I had to pick one guy, I think Brad's done a great job this year of understanding what his new role is, accepting that new role, and treating it the way that it needs to be treated to succeed.
Well, it looks like he has been leading by example too, Coach. He's been 20 innings pitched, 12 games pitched. I'm guessing GP. That's games pitched,
played.
correct? Or
games
played,
whatever.
right,
yeah.
3-0. 2.7 ERA. He's done exactly what you've wanted to out of that sophomore and that guy out of the bullpen. And we've got a guy that come through. Sir, think fast. There, he's got a new hat for. He's coming in to get a new recliner here at Jake's Furnishings. Coach, over 21 years at Lincoln College, 2 as a player, 3 as an assistant, 18 as a head coach. What's the biggest things that changed? Of course, that new beautiful gymnasium that that helps you guys out too. It's just another recruiting tool. You got a new weight room, that kind of thing. But on the field, if it's the diamond, if it's the way you've coached, if it's the players you've gotten, or the game has changed, biggest thing in 18 years as a head coach out at LC that's caught you by surprise, or maybe the biggest change.
Well, and I don't really. From 1993 to now, I haven't seen a major change in any way. I mean, we've got a new field. We do have new facilities. We have a little better opportunity with scholarship money, and but again, it comes down to being able to get the right kids in your program and continue to teach and preach the best ways to get things done, the right ways to get things done, and for them to understand and believe in the process of not only the athletic but the academic side of things.
Yeah, you do have to attend class.
You do have to attend class. Yes, we have some requirements with that. And speaking of that, this is my 18th year, and I've never had a team GPA under 2.85.
Good.
So we work hard with that. But the joy for me is probably 5 years down the road when those young men leave and I get a phone call, hey coach, I'm getting married, you're invited, and I have to go to 3 weddings in a year, or I have to go to 3 weddings. And but I do preach, and I think you guys will understand this the most. Their biggest thing, they say, would they remember Lincoln College and me, is maybe not the baseball field, but I preach to them that this is still not the greatest day of their life. And we try to put things in perspective, because you still have 2 more years of college. You still have a possible wedding left. But that day when you have that first child will be the best day of your life.
But you got 2 assistants that played for you too,
yeah,
right?
I had 2 assistants, yep. I had 2 assistants, and everything comes back. Right. So, it's just the fact that, like I said, we got some national rankings the other day, and I had 5, 6, 7 guys call and say, Coach, congratulations, you deserve it. But it's not about me; it's about the team aspect, and then that's what we try to work on, is that nature. But yeah, we do have some new facilities. We have a good ballpark. John Andrews and your brother Ryan have done a great job on the field getting it ready for us. Now we don't have to do things, but. That is a great situation with them being able to do it. I think that's a medium, so.
Yeah, we're going to give away a sweatshirt. A youngster has come through here. Thanks for coming in today, buddy.
But, yeah, it's the fact that those guys call you back and congratulate you. Coaches call you and say, hey, congratulations enjoy it and do what you're capable of doing with it. So. Well,
Coach, we want to thank you for coming in. We know you got a little more time today than you would have if Parkland was going to be traveling to Lincoln today, but they're not. But you're going to travel to Parkland tomorrow, and then hopefully you will be on the field, Galen Shirley Field, Monday against Parkland, correct?
Correct. That's
weather permitting.
Tentatively 1 o'clock start, yes.
Okay, great.
Real quick before you go, Coach, you're obviously a baseball fan. Who do you root for there in the Major League?
I think we have a sandwich here, don't we? I think we have a Scotch sandwich. Yeah, I think hopefully Lance Brookman was a bad pickup, wasn't he?
I don't know if he's going to pan out right now.
No, everybody. He's old. He's not going to be able to play the outfield. I mean, it's
just. He hit a couple home runs, and you guys think he's Pujols.
Pujols. Well, I'd take Lance right now.
I was going to say, Lance is so bad.
Well, wait till all 3 of them get hot, then we'll start maybe tripping. But yeah, it's going to be a good season, I hope. And what the Rockies won last night? I didn't even hear the score.
I think they pulled it out. Yeah, 5-0 or something.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Who they play? The Chiefs.
Yeah. They play Peoria.
That's what I thought. Coach, I'm tired of listening to the 2 Cardinal fans to my right and 1 to my left, so we're going to let you go. Hopefully go get that field a little more ready, prepped before hopefully Monday the Cobras come to town. Good luck tomorrow over at Champaign, and hopefully all the listeners will head out to Galen Shirley Field on Monday or Tuesday, weather permitting, to check out your squad.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. I almost called you Ryan. I told you I was going to do that accidentally, Josh. But thanks, Jake, for having me, and appreciate everything. And hopefully everything works out good.
Yeah, thanks for bringing all the equipment out here. We've given away a couple sweatshirts, a couple hats already. We'll be back here in a couple minutes. Jake and I are going to talk about the Bulls' chances of winning the championship. They're going to play today. The Bulls. They're going to be playing at noon today. So we'll be back on 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com. Back here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Jake's had us in all morning here from 9 to 10. We just got off the air with head baseball coach at Lincoln College, Coach Tony Thomas, and the furniture guy is with me. Jake, we've got a little bit to talk about here before we hit baseball, before we hit the Bulls. I want to give a congratulations out to some more accolades for the Lynx basketball team. Kyle Turpin, the man that's headed to Florida State, was named NJC Division II Player of the Year after he has led two teams to back-to-back national champions. He averaged 15.5 points and 8 rebounds a game this season. He ranked 4th in the nation in block shots with just over 3 a game. Also, Mr. Whiteman, Coach Kirk Whiteman, the guy we're going to try and get on, although he's a busy man out on the recruiting trail right now. We're going to have him on hopefully in a couple weeks. Coach Whiteman has won 2 national titles in 3 seasons. His other one was, just a 3rd place.
Yeah.
So he's been doing rather well. He was named National Coach of the Year, Division II National Coach of the Year, Coach Kirk Whiteman. So more awards coming for the Lynx, and deservedly so. 2 back-to-back national
year this year for them.
Yeah, back-to-back national champions. I got to say, I watched them a few times, and they just didn't look strong at some points during the game, and struggled to score sometimes. And boy, he put it together. The team put it together late in the year and made a big run. Jake, you've got some local news also.
Yeah, Lauren Deese out of Illini Central there from San Jose looks like she's signing with Danville Community College.
Yeah.
She averaged 13 points a game this year for the Cougars over there at Illini Central.
Well, not only will they, not a far trip for the Deese family to head over to Danville, but, they'll be playing the Lynx here. Coach Thomas is an assistant on the women's basketball team out at Lincoln College, so they don't have too far to travel when they come over to the new Jack Nutt Arena here at Lincoln College. Also want to thank some more of our sponsors, St. Clair's Manor. Their team's dedication is what makes them special. Phone 735-1507. Mary Todd's Gold Crown Hallmark in downtown Lincoln, open 7 days a week. Goodwill of Lincoln. Find everything for everyone at the Lincoln Goodwill store next to Kroger, accepting donations and open 7 days a week. Eaton Corporation, America's choice for top quality, high performance electrical equipment for over 52 years. Lincoln College, providing students the best educational experience since 1865. Go on to lincolncollege.edu for more details. Jake, last night coming in was, you guys talked about it and kind of rubbed it in a little bit before Coach Thomas got off the air. The Cubs were defeated by, you were talking about just the Rockies, but they're hot Rockies. 9 in a row, I think, now?
Yeah, 2 of the whiskey
and Cargo. It might be 2 of the best. You might be the 2 best tandem, especially in the National League.
Yeah.
Maybe all baseball.
Yeah, before last week started, I guess, yeah.
What do you think? Pujols is going to break out of his hitting that $165 or whatever it was?
I think he's batting right at 300 as today starts.
Really?
Yeah. Had a couple more hits last night. 2 home runs.
Who's that stat guy over there at St. Louis?
Well, I do what I can.
Cubs fall to the Rockies last night, 5-0. Cardinals win 11-2. Berkman 2 home runs. Pujols. Pujols 2 home runs. I watched a little bit of it, and man, if that guy left that ball any more on a platter for Pujols, I believe it was the first one, threw it right across the middle. And I mean, even a guy.
The first one was inside. He pulled it down.
Okay, it was the second one. Then I saw.
The second one. Yeah, well, it's the next teammate. I mean,
what did he give it? Take him to afterwards.
Absolutely. I mean, why not?
And then the
game was over.
Cardinals are starting to get hot now. Perkman is really on fire. I mean, what did you say? 6 home runs in 6 days, 6 games, or something like that.
I believe it's 4 games. 6 home runs, 4 games. Yeah, he's rolling right now.
Yeah, and the Cardinals are starting to get hot. But I'm okay on the Cubs right now. They've not been playing that well, but they show signs they're by far better than they were last year. They're more fundamental. They're doing little things. They don't rely on the solo home runs like they have for the last 5 years.
That's exactly right. We were talking about actually last night. I had a little get together, and they're playing a lot more fundamental ball. You're not seeing Soriano do the little hop as he catches the ball anymore.
Somebody actually taught him how to catch a fly ball.
That's exactly right. And taking decent routes to a ball, too, making it so maybe it's only a double as opposed to going to the wall, getting lost in the ivy, and making it a triple, you know?
White Sox lose last night to the Angels 4-3. The Pirates maybe still a surprise a little bit of the National League. They beat the Reds 6-1, and we talked about it last week. The Pirates at that point were ahead in the Central and took a series from the Cubs, took a series from the Cardinals, and they seem to be playing still confident ball.
They've got some decent fielders, and they've got a couple. They've got 4 or 5 guys that can flat out rake. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see how these young guys prove themselves throughout the long season, because it is a long season and it can just beat you down. But as of right now, I think who's that? Clint Pirtle. Who's their head coach now?
Right. Pirtle or something. The guy was at Rockies.
Yeah, there was the Rockies head coach. He's got him playing the right way right now.
Well, Cincinnati is leading the division, I believe, right now. They're 8-4 after last night. They dropped to 8-5, but really there's not a lot of separation in that division. Not only like the West Division, where Colorado is just blowing away. They're 11-2 now on the season. Next closest is 6-6, which the Dodgers just lost last night. So now they're 6-7. So the Rockies are trying to pull away from that one pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then if you want to flip it, our favorite pick there in the American League East, Boston's.
You're talking about my World Series winner that's 2-10?
2-10. Yeah. My goodness, they're not gelling at all, right? I mean, I know it's long.
And then they just signed the guy to $165 million for 5 years, 6 years, $154 million. They just signed Gonzalez, so money's at least good there. The winning's not though. And now
money's good all around Major League Baseball.
The money's always going to be there. We turn to the Bulls. The Bulls are getting set to take on the Indiana Pacers today at noon. I believe that's on ESPN, so you can check out the Chicago Bulls. Jake, do you like the Bulls to go all the way? I'm pretty confident that they're going to beat the Pacers.
You know what? Honestly, I kind of like them to pull out of the East at least and get into the finals. You're going to have if things play out, and you got to play the games, but if things play out, you've got Boston and Miami playing each other around before the Bulls, and they're going to have to beat each other up.
Right.
Boston's not going to let anybody just walk past them. They're going to do everything they can to move on. I don't see that happening, though. I see Miami against Chicago, and then after a series like that, it's going to be pretty grueling. I can see Chicago stepping past those and getting to probably L.A., possibly Oklahoma, in the finals.
Well, I'm definitely with you beating the Pacers, although I just have a tough time with the Bulls. How can they beat the Heat? We talked about the Heat, and they're not gelling, and they're doing this, but at any time, they've got 3 guys that can flat out almost beat you by themselves.
Yeah, now we're talking about playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs.
We're talking about playoffs. It's a different story once you get to the playoffs. Of course, intensity gets a little magnified.
It's not everything. They don't. They play 30% during the regular season. They play 95%.
That's exactly right. And a few of their guys, they're looking for contracts for next year on Miami. So, their point guard, actually pretty much everybody except LeBron, D-Wade, and Chris Bosh are looking for a contract for next year.
So I like the Bulls. Don't forgive me. I'm a fan, but I just got them getting beat by Miami. There's something about LeBron. There's something about Wade.
The reason I like to stay on the Bulls bandwagon on this one, and actually I would have stuck with Boston if they wouldn't have gotten rid of all their big men.
Right.
But Chicago's so big, and you know what? They're at the point where they're not letting you get to the hoop. They won't let Rondo. They won't get LeBron even as strong as LeBron is. If he goes to the hoop, they've got They've got. Kurt Thomas,
right?
As well as
Boozer and Noah.
When you come in the lane, they're going to make you know they're there. Whereas in the past, maybe they let them slip to the hoop and just do their thing. But this year, they're much more intense on the defensive end. That's with Thibodeau as their head coach, and I think that's why I have them moving forward.
That's why you've got them moving forward, and that there to be the series. Miami's taking on Philadelphia, which Philadelphia is just a young team. Coach Collins, Doug Collins, who's the coach at the Sixers now, might be maybe second in line for Coach of the Year. I'm sure Coach Thibodeau at the Bulls is going to be the Coach of the Year. Boston's taking on New York. That's tomorrow.
Well, that's a up in the air game too, because like you said, 30% and then 80% in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens with those guys. The New York would be the only question mark I have right now in the East.
Right, and Orlando then will take on today. They will take on Atlanta at 6 p.m. tonight. Let's move over into the Western Conference. San Antonio is going to take on Memphis. The Lakers in New Orleans. They're saying I've heard a lot of maybe the experts, I guess you want to call them, New Orleans. They like New Orleans. They like Oklahoma City. Everybody's loving Oklahoma City. They're saying maybe in the next 5 years that's a team to reckon with. Young talent and just those young legs going up against Denver, who is playing 10 times better than they ever thought about playing when they had Melo.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's a question mark on that side is how Denver's going to play, because since Melo's been gone, they're playing like a team that can contend with a lot of different teams. The other question mark, I think, is the age of San Antonio, how well they can perform. You hate to say teams getting old, but I mean, they're getting a little longer.
Duncan's been around a long time.
He has been, and he's been dominant ever since he's been in the league.
Right.
But the question is, can they hold up through a series like this where it's going to be just pounding on them? Because, like you said, they do step it up for the playoffs, and it's a totally different atmosphere.
Lakers take on New Orleans, Dallas, and Portland. That is also today, and then Oklahoma City, Denver is tomorrow. So, if you're an NBA fan, I'm not leading up to the playoffs, but I am now. I started to watch the Bulls as I guess I was that fan that only rides them when they're good, but they're tough to watch. NBA's tough to watch when they're not playing well. Or not winning,
it's not the most fundamental league. But you know what, with the Bulls,
they have played hard all year.
They have, and with their emphasis on defense, it does make it a little more watchable.
And Derrick Rose is a highlight film in and of himself. So if you're not a fan, if you're just wanting to watch out, it's still sprinkling out here at Jake's Furnishings, 1100 Woodlawn Road. Stay in. The Bulls are going to be tipping off here shortly. How do you play a playoff game at noon? That's 12 o'clock. These guys are just getting back in from the night.
Yeah, I don't know. Man,
I don't understand that. That's like
they had like 5 days off.
Well, I know, but they're still celebrating. It's a noon tip, so get your food ready, grab the recliner, and watch the Bulls, because they haven't been in the playoffs. Recently, just not as the number one seed. They're saying Rose is by far is he your MVP?
I would say, running away.
Yeah, I think he is too.
He's best team in basketball.
Right. Best record
in basketball, so you might as well, comes with all their accolades. Coach of the Year, comes with MVP or Player of the Year.
Yep, and last MVP since MJ. So Derrick Rose in his home city, his hometown, home team is the MVP, and they're getting set to. He's probably getting warmed up right now at the United Center, just a couple hours away from tip. Jake, that's going to do it right now. Next week we're going to be off. Actually, our bosses, I guess, have given us next weekend off because of Easter.
Well, I think it's because my voice is losing. But whatever. One quick thing, I do have a special I want to throw out there.
Sure.
On our mattress sets, I've got a deal. We are going to be closed tomorrow because I'm celebrating Easter a week early and celebrating next week. So
you got 2 Easters.
I'm doing 2 Easters. It's a family thing.
That's how
I roll. On our mattress sets right now, any of our premium mattress over $650, we're taking $100 off for next week. All you have to do is mention this radio show, and we're going to go.
There you go. There's a mattress sale for you all week. Next week out here at Jake's Furnishings, located at 1100 Woodlawn Road. I want to thank Jake for having us out here today. Of course, Jake's always with me here on the Cheap Seats Show. We also want to thank Fricky Calvert Schrader Funeral Homes in Lincoln and Mount Pulaski, providing professional care and compassion since 1890. Edward Jones, financial advisor. Bob Neal, call 735-2585 or stop by the office located at 218 South Kickapoo in downtown Lincoln. Join us Saturday, April the 30th. Like I said, we're taking next weekend off for Easter. Join us April 30th at the Christian Village Congregate Building, where we will be outdoors if we're not raining, and it gets a little warmer because I'm not sitting out in the cold. So hopefully it gets warmer. We want to thank everybody for listening. Jake, have a happy Easter. All our listeners have a happy Easter. And I want to thank head baseball coach Tony Thomas for coming out to Jake's Furnishings as he's watching it rain. His links are going to be hitting the practice field today. But hey, thank him for coming out. Thank you for listening to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. We will see you in 2 weeks. Have a happy Easter.